Hello grade 11, welcome to my channel. This is Tutor Marife. In this video, ituturo ko paano mag-solve ng given rational inequality. So ito yung ating problem, x squared minus x minus 12 all over x minus 1 greater than or equal to 0. Isa-solve natin ang solution set ng given rational inequality. Pag sinabi nating solution set, ano bang ibig sabihin nun? Hahanapin natin ang lahat ng intervals of x na magsasatisfy dito sa statement. Kailangan pag nag-plug in ka ng mga values of x dito sa kaliwa ng given rational inequality, ang lalabas na value ay magsasatisfy sa statement na, let's say ito ay naging single number. Yung single number na yon should be indeed greater than or equal to 0. So dun mo masasabi na true yung inequality mo. Okay? So yung mga values of x that would make this inequality a false inequality or a false statement, yun yung mga hindi kasali sa solution set. Okay? So that means ang solution set ng rational inequality ay hindi set of all real numbers. Merong mga ma-exclude sa solution set. At ang concern natin ay yung mga kasali sa solution set ng ating given rational inequality. Okay? So, remember na mas nauna nating napag-aralan ang solving rational equation. Anong solving rational equation? Kapag ang ginamit na symbol ay equal sign. Paano ka nagsosolve dati ng rational equation? Nag-i-eliminate ka ng denominator by multiplying the whole equation by the LCD. In case meron kang multiple rational expressions dun sa binigay sa yung rational equation. Okay? So, sa rational inequality, hindi mo pwedeng gawin yon, elimination of denominator. Okay? Bakit hindi pwede sa rational inequality ang ganong procedure? Kasi merong involved na variable sa denominator natin. Pag involved ang variable, paiba-iba yan ng value. So, merong magre-result to a negative denominator, merong magre-result to a positive denominator. Remember, nung una nating na-encounter ang solving inequality, nagsiswitch ka ng inequality symbol every time minumultiply mo yung both sides of the inequality by a negative number. Naaalala nyo yon? So, kung merong variable, paiba-iba ng value dito sa polynomial natin sa denominator, hindi mo alam kung kailan magni-negative yung expression sa denominator mo. So, kung gagawin mo yung procedure sa solving rational equation na i-multiply mo both sides by the LCD or expression in the denominator, hindi mo rin alam kung kailan ka magsiswitch o hindi magsiswitch ng direction of the inequality symbol. Okay, so yun yung reason bakit hindi ginagawa sa solving rational inequality yung elimination of denominator. Okay, so paano nga ba mag-solve ng rational inequality? We're going to use sign chart or table of signs. Okay, so let's start. So, solve the solution set of x squared minus x minus 12 over x minus 1 is greater than or equal to 0. Step 1. Write the given rational inequality in general form. Ito yung general form. Anong itsura ng general form? The rational expression should be on the left side, 0 should be on the right side. Itong inequality symbol can be replaced with other inequality symbols, namely greater than or equal to, less than, and less than or equal to. So, replaceable yan. So, in our problem, ang nagamit na inequality symbol ay greater than or equal to. Ito pa ang dapat ninyong i-consider. Pag sinabing rational inequality in general form, yung fraction or rational expression on the left side should be single. So in case ang given rational inequality ay involved ang more than one rational expression o fraction, kailangan mo pang mag-rewrite into single fraction. Kailangan one fraction only ang nasa left side para masabing nakasulat in general form yung problem mo. In case there are fractions on the right side, i-collect mo on the left side. Then, rewrite the left side into a single fraction. Okay? So, in this case, wala tayong problema sa step 1 kasi in general form na yung given problem natin. This is our r of x, tapos ito yung q of x mo. So, single fraction siya, wala nang ibang fraction na nakikita on the left side. Tapos 0 ang right side. So, okay na tayo sa step 1. Ano ba itong r of x? Notation lang ito. It represents the polynomial in x. Dito sa denominator, q of x is a notation for the polynomial in the denominator in terms of variable x. Okay, so after putting the problem into general form, ang susunod na step ay set the numerator to 0, set the denominator to 0, and solve. So, ibig sabihin, we equate r of x to 0 and solve. Ito yung r of x mo. Ito naman ang q of x mo. So, ito yung polynomial natin sa numerator. It's x squared minus x minus 12 equals 0. And we're going to solve for x. Solving quadratic equation. Isa sa mga methods na natutunan pag solving quadratic equation ay ang factoring method. Itong left side ng quadratic natin, quadratic equation ay factorable. So, pwede nating gamitan ito ng factoring method. Factorize x squared minus x minus 12. Factorize x squared. So, split up mo lang dalawang x. Factorize negative 12. So, negative ang sign ng 12. Therefore, ang i-consider mong factors ng negative 12 ay dalawang numbers na magkaiba ang sign. So, ang i-consider mo positive, negative, or negative and positive. Since this is a simple quadratic trinomial, dahil ang leading coefficient mo ay 1, so, ang iisipin lang natin ay ano ba ang factors of negative 12 that will add up to the numerical coefficient of the first degree term natin, and that is negative 1. Negative 4 and 3. Positive 3. Positive 3 plus negative 4 is negative 1. So, ganun lang yon. Pag ang leading coefficient ay 1, positive 1, iisipin mo kung anong numbers ang pag minultiply ay equal to the constant term, at pag inad mo, ang result ay yung numerical coefficient ng middle term. Ang numerical coefficient natin ay understood negative 1. So, that's positive 3, negative 4. Yan ang factors of negative 12. Pag inad mo naman, positive 3 plus negative 4 is equal to the numerical coefficient of the middle term, which is negative 1. So, ito ang factors ng left side ng ating equation. Equate mo to 0. Then, you equate each factor to 0 and solve for x. So, ang first factor mo ay x plus 3. I-equate mo to 0 and solve for x. X equals negative 3. Ito naman, equate mo din to 0 and solve for x. X equals 4. So, tapos na tayo sa setting the numerator to 0 and solve for x. Dito naman tayo sa setting the denominator to 0 and solve for x. Set the denominator to 0 and solve for x. Ang q of x natin ay x minus 1. I-equate mo din to 0 and solve for x. X is equal to 1. So, bakit natin ginawa ito? Setting both the numerator and denominator to 0 and then we solve for x. Ano-ano ba itong mga nakuha nating values ng x na ito? Ito ang ating mga critical values o critical numbers. So, gagamitin natin ang mga ito to break our number line into different intervals. Arrange mo na rin into ascending order. Ano ba ang list sa tatlo? Negative 3. Susunod ang 1. Susunod ang 4. So, increasing. Okay? So, these are your critical numbers or critical values. Okay. Next, gagawa ka ng number line. It's actually your X line. Kasi nga, mga X yan. Tapos, i-calibrate mo. So, hindi mo na kailangan gumawa ng equal spacing. Basta, gumawa ka lang dyan ng hatch mark na 3 kasi you have 3 critical values. So, ipa-plot natin, negative 3 ang least, susunod ang 1, tapos greatest ang 4. So, make sure, pag ipa-plot mo na yung critical values na nakuha mo, pataas yan. Hindi pwedeng mag-interchange. Kailangan yung smallest number ang nasa leftmost, tapos, yung susunod na pinakamalaki, then, ito yung greatest. Okay? So, kung mapapansin ninyo, itong number line, pag na-plot na itong 3 critical values, para siyang nahati into 4 sections. This is the first section, this is the second section, third section, and fourth section. Yan. Itong first section mo, ang interval mo dyan ay representation ng mga numbers na nasa kaliwa ng negative 3. So that means, ang mga x mo dyan ay less than negative 3. Tapos, itong section na ito, itong second section mo, ay mga numbers na greater than negative 3, but less than 1. Tapos, itong nasa third section mo, ay mga numbers na greater than 1 but less than 4. Itong nasa fourth section mo ay mga numbers na greater than 4. Positive infinity, negative infinity. Okay, so dito natin nagamit ang nahanap nating critical values sa pagbe-break ng ating X line or number line into different intervals. Meron tayong 4 different intervals. Gagamitin natin ito na label dun sa sign chart natin. So, gagawa tayo ng sign chart o table. Ililabel natin as x is less than negative 3, x is greater than 3 but less than 1, x is greater than 1 but less than 4, tapos x is greater than 4. Yan ang magiging labels ng columns ng iyong sign chart. Dito naman sa rows ng ating table, kukunin mo yung components ng iyong rational inequality. Ito ang factored form niya ay x plus 3x minus 4. So kung nakasulat in factored form ang iyong rational expression sa kaliwa, meron kang 3 components. 1, 2, 3. Kukunin natin ang bawat component. Tapos itong final row mo, yung combined components. Ito na yung ating buong rational expression na nasa kaliwa. Sulat na lang natin as r of x over q of x, or pwede mong isulat na lang yung original rational expression mo sa kaliwa. Pwede rin yun. Okay? So, itong critical values, isusulat mo dito, nandito siya mismo sa line, yung negative 3 na yan, tapos 1, then 4. Kapag ang x mo ay negative 3, isa ito sa mga x values na magsiset ng numerator to 0. That means, yung itaas ng iyong rational expression magiging 0 if x is negative 3. So, 0 divided by any denominator is always equal to a 0 function. So, lagay natin dyan ang 0. Ano naman itong 1? Itong 1 ay ang value that would make the denominator 0. And a number divided by a 0 is always undefined. Undefined. UND, undefined. When x is 4, isa rin ito sa value ng x that would make the numerator equal to 0. And 0 divided by any number is always equal to 0. Yan. Okay. So, na-label na natin ang ating sign chart. This time, ang susunod na step is consider test values o test numbers mo. Ano itong mga test numbers or values? Take any number that falls in each of the intervals. So, any number, pero pag pipili ka, it should be a number that's easy to work with. So, x is less than negative 3. Anong number ang nandito sa interval na to, i-consider natin as our test number ang x equals negative 4. Tama ba ang negative 4 ay nandito sa interval na x is less than negative 3? Yes. Dito sa interval na x is greater than 3 but less than 1, mag-isip ng number na included sa interval na to, 0. Ang 0 ay greater than 3 but less than 1. For this interval, x is greater than 1 but less than 2, pwede nating gamitin as test value natin ang 2. 2 is greater than 1 but less than 4. And for our last interval, pwede nating gamiting test number natin ang x equals 5. 5 is greater than 4. Okay, so any number pwede nyong piliin as test value or test number as long as yung number na yon ay included dun sa kinoconsider mong interval. Okay, saan natin gagamitin ang test numbers na yan? Dito sa components. Aalamin lang natin ano ang magiging sign ng bawat component ng rational expression pag ipo-plug in mo yung test number mo. Pag sinabing ipo-plug in, i-replace mo yung mga x ng iyong component by the number. Kahit di mo na ibigay yung exact value, sign lang ilagay mo sa chart mo. That's why this is also called table of signs. Okay, so let's start with our first test number. It's x equals negative 4. So ipa-plug in natin ang negative 4 sa bawat component ng rational expression natin. So if x is negative 4, magiging negative 4 plus 3. And that is negative 1. So, sulat lang natin negative. If x is negative 4, itong x minus 4 ay magiging negative 4 minus 4 is negative 8. So, negative ang result. If x is negative 4, itong x minus 1 ay magiging negative 4 minus 1 is negative 5. So, the result is negative. Okay? Itong last row natin ay pinagsama-sama na yung components yung mga factors nitong rational expression natin. So, ano yung magiging final sign for the whole rational function? Remember yung counting of negative signs? Kapag ang number of negative ay odd number, ang result ay negative. Pag ang number of negative ay even, ang result ay positive. Itong counting of negative signs, ginagawa mo lang ito kung ang operation or operations involved ay multiplication and division. So, tignan nyo itong rational expression natin, combined multiplication and division. So, pwede mong gamitin yung counting of negative to determine the final sign. Okay, kasi this is actually, itong r of x mo ay x plus 3 multiplied by x minus 4 divided by x minus 1. So, ang operations involved ay combination of multiplication and division. So, we can use the counting of negative to determine the final sign of this expression. So, let's count the negatives. 1, 2, 3. tatlo ang negative. Ang tatlo ay odd. So, ang final sign ng rational function natin ay negative. Okay. Dito tayo sa next column. Ang test value natin ay 0. I-plug in mo ang 0 sa lahat ng x. Tapos, ibigay mo ang sign. If this is 0, 0 plus 3 is positive 3. So, ang sign ay positive. If this is 0, 0 minus 4, negative 4. Sign is negative. If this is 0, 0 minus 1, negative 1. Ang sign ay negative. Finalize the sign, count the negatives, 1, 2. Ang 2 ay even. So, ang final sign ay positive. Next column. Ang test value natin ay x equals 2. So, i-plug in mo ang 2 sa lahat ng x and determine the sign. 2 plus 3, positive 5. 2 minus 4, negative 2. 2 minus 1, positive 1. Determine the final sign of the rational expression. Count the negative, 1. 1 is odd, so ang final sign ay negative. Last test value natin, it's 5. I-plug in mo ang 5 sa lahat ng x and determine the sign of the result. 5 plus 3 is positive 8. 5 minus 4, positive 1. 5 minus 1, positive 4. Final sign, count the negative, o walang negative, so ang bilang ng negative ay 0. 0 is even, therefore, final sign is positive. Okay? So, after mong makumpleto ang iyong table of signs or sign chart, pwede na nating i-determine ang solution set ng ating given rational inequality. Ang ginamit na symbol sa ating problem ay greater than or equal to. So, sa last row, dito sa last row ng ating table of signs, ang hahanapin mo ay, because of this greater than symbol, hahanapin mo ang lahat ng intervals na nagbigay ng positive result. And because of this equal sign, pati yung result na 0, hahanapin mo dun sa last row. So, tignan natin ang ating last row. Ito. Ano ba yon? That is when x is equal to negative 3. Ito rin. Ano ito? X is greater than 3 but less than 1. Another 0. That is when x is equal to 4. Then positive. That is when x is greater than 4. So, yung corresponding values of x o interval kung saan nag-0 at nag-positive ang ating rational expression, yun ang magiging solution set natin. So, ang solution set ng given rational inequality ay x greater than, this is negative 3. Negative 3 less than 1. Included ang negative 3, so maglagay ka lang dyan ng equal sign. Ang 1 ay hindi included. Itong right end ng interval is not included kasi undefined yan. Or, x greater than 4. Question, i-include mo ba yung 4? Yes. Yan. In interval notation, isusulat mo ito pag included ang end value, yung left end, gagamit ka ng square bracket. Tapos sulat mo dito yung left end mo. Pag hindi included ang right end ng interval, gagamitan mo ng round bracket or parenthesis. Sulat mo dito yung left end ng interval. Tapos delimited by a comma. Itong or, i-replace mo ng union, capital U. Tapos, ito naman, ibig sabihin yan, endless to the right. So, automatic round bracket to, positive infinity, kasi endless to the right yan. Tapos, ito yung left end mo. Included ang 4, so, gagamit ka ng square bracket. Yan. Two ways mo pwedeng ibigay ang iyong solution set for the given rational inequality. So, marami itong solution. Lahat ng numbers within this interval, including decimal numbers, at lahat ng numbers up to positive infinity, from 4 to positive infinity, pag ipa-plug in mo dito, magre-result to a true inequality. Okay? So, pag merong malabo dito sa solution, use the comment box or i-message nyo ako sa aking inbox. Please don't forget to subscribe to Tutor Marife MCP. Thank you.